Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I speak a lot about Kyrie Irving on this channel. So, as he's tweeted some very controversial things about the media, his position on what their purpose is, on how they function, and why they are the way they are, sparking a lot of controversy. So I felt like, to be consistent, I could lend my opinion as I have. I didn't disagree with it one single word. Not one. Every syllable, every letter of every word was something that I could say, yeah, I agree. All of it. I wish that I knew more of the history that he spoke of in regards to the prophecies that he's referring to. That's what I can say. That if I can't follow the cosign, it's because I am not sure of the specifics of his ancestors and who he's referring to and what was said to him, or what it is he's referring to specifically. But other than that, yeah. And what I will say is, even though I don't know of his ancestors and what they may have what has been passed to him, or what it is he's referring to, I can tell you this: I was raised in a household where my mom told me some of those same things. So I guess technically, yeah, my ancestors too. Let me know about media and how they can manipulate things, not only in sports but beyond, of course, and to pay attention to narratives and seed planting and things of that nature, and to look at who gets propped up where, and question things, more or less, numbers that are used to show you that people are productive in a certain way, or what have you, award shows and stuff like that. Keep an eye on that, because a lot of times behind the scenes things can be manipulated or what have you. So yeah, I've been given a heads up on how things can be, and how this country has operated, using black athletes, black entertainers, black performers to garner entertainment revenue that they've also used to continue their entertainment business, as well as parlay it into other things that has kept this country going, off the back of our cultures, both in terms of exploitation and in terms of showing appreciation. We've been given both energy, and they've profited off of the exploitation and appreciation just the same. So as I say what I say, I can say that Kyrie Irving was right about what I perceive to be as some nefarious energy behind the scenes as it pertains to some of the stuff that we're exposed to on a daily basis. I do not agree with some of the stuff that I've been entertained by. In other words, I feel ashamed of myself for laughing at some of the stuff I've laughed at, or for in terms of these partaking in the folly that these narratives that the sports media has partaken in, believing some of that stuff and letting it mold my perception and things of that nature. They've done an effective job of manipulating the American public until we see the wool pull out from under the situation, and we start really seeing what's going on behind the scenes. We start seeing the narratives not played out the way they said they would, or certain truths be contradicted, and they haven't been able to cover their tracks and make it make sense. I think at the end of the day, they're going to try to turn it around in regards to this specific situation. I know Stephen A., before I even read what Kyrie had to say, I saw Stephen A.'s response to it, saying he's going to give it 24 hours and talk. And all I would say is, he didn't mention your name. He really didn't, for what it's worth. This is one of those situations where I would just say, if the shoe fits. If you don't consider yourself to be one of those people that he was referring to, who are paid to slander African Americans, I would say the evidence has shown us plenty of the contrary. And you've definitely done a lot of that, Stephen A. And, I think you believe, and you've shown and proven that your intention is to help the black community, but at the same time, I think it's been proven that the people behind you who pay your bills have a different agenda and are not as passionate about us as you are, and maybe feel completely opposite. And it may show in some of the behavior and some of the conversations that you may have, and it may show in some of the takes that you in the stance that you may take. Even though you say it's not your contemporaries who are behind it, at the end of the day, if you say something they don't agree with, we know you're gone, and we know you won't do that. You won't allow that. We know when things aren't going well between you and them because you end up taking hiatuses. And we hear about suspensions. See, I understand how Stephen A. operates because I listen to him very closely. He incorporates him working as a means of his worth. And his responsibility in life is to earn for those he's employed by, and for him being respectful of oneself is being obedient to one's employer and having a certain level of work ethic, while behaving in such a way that doesn't embarrass yourself in the presence of those above you. And when you make your money, you've done your job, and that's your reward, and that should be your motivation. And to steer people away from that thinking is irresponsible within our community because of the plights that we have in poverty and the wealth gap and things of that nature. So that's his stance. That's how he operates. He's a capitalist who sees his dignity wrapped up in making sure that he's consistent in earning for those who pay him. But that's not how I think the African American community as a whole believes itself to identify the importance of dignity and spiritual energy and things of that nature that we also hold true, just like we hold true that the wealth gap is true and that we need to make money and we need to work hard and hold our names strong and not embarrass ourselves in the presence of anyone. But to be free, or to be able to live without money and still hold yourself in a happiness and have accountability and have dignity and respect of your home and your household, whether you can provide or not. You understand? And in such a way that makes you wealthy. I think it's more to our plight than just wealth. And part of that problem is shunning others away because of the lack of money that we have, or because of the lack of work ethic one another has, or because of the lack of strength or mental fortitude or mental toughness that maybe one has from one another. Until we learn to be each other's crutch and to work together, instead of shunning each other for having each other's differences or having each other's lack of whatever it is you feel your brother is lacking, until we learn that we need to help one another, not shun one another for being different. Because I don't believe that that's a way forward. I don't think that that's the way to go. And then, like, in my mind, you know, just looking at the situation, I listen to athletes like Kyrie speak out and say, yo, they're slandering us for pay. Like, they're doing this in such a way that tries to belittle the value that we actually have to them. You know, they're playing our value down is essentially what I'm reading into what he's saying. We're worth billions to these people. Our names are worth billions, and yet they talk bad about us. Why? To keep the value at a place that they're comfortable with, and I understand that. That's what they're doing to Ben Simmons, what they do to Kyrie, they do it to Bron, they do it to all of them. And I just understand that there's some other things that are going on behind the scenes that maybe I wouldn't understand that would probably cater to that as well. But at the end of the day, you want to see athletes, you want to see everybody treated fairly. Most importantly, you don't want to see your culture and your people be exploited by people who don't mean them no well, that mean them nothing but harm. And that's essentially what we sense. You know, people like Stephen A. Smith, who are employees, who believe that they're doing the right thing by continuing to be the example of how to behave properly for your employer. And maybe that behavior might lend to him doing some things that may not necessarily be great for our community at all. But he feels like that's the way to lead, by example. And I'm just like, man, you're leading more people into a space where they don't want to communicate with people who are different with them as it pertains to, I can't talk to Kyrie because he won't show up to work. Like, we're not separating one another for our color. We're separating one another for our smarts, I guess, or our mental fortitude and things of that nature. It's still separatism. It's still a get away from me because. I think we need to talk to people like Ben Simmons. You don't feel strong enough to go play ball? You don't feel like you're ready to go to work? Okay. Why is that, man? What's going on? What happened to you? I bet if we dig deep, we find out he went through some horrors we wouldn't even fathom. You know what I mean? And we're so quick to knock people down. Kyrie Irving, oh, Kyrie Irving sees the world differently. Okay, fine. Maybe he misspeaks. I misspeak. Okay. You know, like it happens. Stephen A. misspeaks. All right. Then what? Are we still just going to keep bashing people for their differences or their weaknesses, or because they speak truth to power, when we know that there's truth to what he's saying? I just feel like that at the end of the day, Stephen A. Smith, if the shoe fits, you know what I mean? I don't think he should be responding to Kyrie in regards to this. Because now you're just reaffirming that what he's saying involves yourself. As if we don't already know that. I just, at the end of the day, he's not the only one. You know, it's a situation where maybe as fans we need to start looking into what it is that he's talking about, instead of just listening and nodding and keep on going and moving along with the narratives. I'll say it like this. I personally don't have any athletes in my family currently alive right now. I once did. It was an NFL player from a long time ago. But I never knew him, wasn't close to me. But I think of it as if it were my child or my brother or my sister or whomever. It's fun and games when it ain't hitting home, no matter what the situation is. Regardless of what it is, it's all fine until it's your self or your family member. And I just say it like this. What if Kyrie was your brother or sister? That's your breadwinner for your family. Maybe they're not perfect. Maybe they don't see the world the way. Maybe they don't perform the way they, whatever. How do you feel when it hits home? When that's your last name they're making fun of? You understand what I'm saying? Now everybody looking at you. It's your little nieces and nephews that have to go to school hearing ha 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 your last name because of whatever, how it plows up with the media and how they speak about their father, who happens to be your relative. It just gets to a point where we're like, you know what? Yeah, do these people make a lot of money? Yeah, were they blessed with gifts that maybe the rest of us don't have? Yeah, all of those different things can make us jealous if we decide to be that way. But at the end of the day, they do have to take back some stuff that ain't fair. And if we look out, the reason why that is because someone's trying to communicate with us. They're trying to manipulate us. They're using them to get to us. And they want us to think a certain way. They want us to spend our money a certain way. They want us to not do certain things. They want us to work a certain way. And they want us to be distracted. And they're going to use these people, good way, bad way, exploit their talents, make fun of them, do whatever they got to do to keep our attention so that we're doing what it is that they want us to do. It's about us, the consumer. It ain't about the athlete. The athlete is the subject. The media, as Kyrie is describing, are the pawns used to exploit the subject for us. So it's up to us to change the way that we are in terms of what it is that we're attracted to in media, in terms of what it is that we're going for. Because as long as we're going for the bull crap, they're going to continue driving them into the mud for it. You know what I mean? They good. As long as we're going for the narratives and not asking for different things. If we want to see, if you know, we're demanding chaos in these people's lives, they're gonna keep on stirring it up in their lives. You know, and where that goes from there, up in there. Life gets, you know, you're talking about mental health. Does it get better from there? This repeated behavior over time with generations and generations of this dynamic between sports and media. Where does it go from here? You see what I'm saying? I think people are so caught up in the moment of everything that they do, and they put out whatever energy they feel like putting out in the moment just for whatever's moment's success, and then they don't think about what it is that they're building. Indirectly, but building. Certain norms that people are going to come in assuming, certain things that come with the energy that comes with you. For example, you're bullying this Westbrook kid. Bully. Even if it ain't really bullying, it's bullying, okay? Let's just, for the sake of what it is that I'm arguing, you agree with me that they're bullying Westbrook, right? Follow me. A little kid grows up He's seeing this right young age, like 7 years old, and he's watching all of this, and he's a brilliant kid. And he's got a lot of talent in whatever sport it is he's about to discover he loves to death and is great at. He develops a certain level of defensive mechanism as it pertains to the media while watching this early on, because he don't like them making fun of Westbrook. He don't like how that is. He don't want to be made fun of like that. You see what I'm saying? You are molding that star into whatever wow personality he's going to be tomorrow. And when he sees y'all, he gonna be a menace to y'all in ways that y'all have never seen before. And why? Is because you have put this out there that is true. That he's gonna get made fun of, that he's gonna have to deal with all this nonsense, that he's gonna have to stay on guard, defensive in the presence of the media. It's not the current stars that you gotta worry about. It's tomorrow's stars that are going to adjust to all of this environment, all of this, the LeBron environment and how they maneuver from jumping from team to team. All tomorrow's star is going to adapt to whatever it is that you guys are setting the tone for now. And the collective and bargaining agreements and all these different agreements that have to take place because of the behavior of these stars, yeah, the norms that will come from that will have a reaction from the players too. And that's something that the NBA, the NFL, and all these different sports teams need to be able to project forward. It's like, look, when you do these extreme things, when you make it so that a kid has to be so tight and quiet and tight-lipped that he never can speak the truth, you're going to get that one guy that is not going to care, and he's going to say way too much because of it. When you put a person out there and you let them do whatever they want to do, you don't set any tone or any set structure for what it is that you're doing. You're going to get that one person that's going to come in there and be a whirlwind. And you're not going to be able to deal with him because he's going to take advantage of that and run your whole situation because you don't have control over it. Everything has a reaction to it. And as it pertains to the media and the way that they talk bad about these players and the way that these players feel about how they're used, there's going to be a day where y'all going to get one of these athletes. He's going to be the best one. And he's going to make life hard on y'all in ways that you can't even see. And it's going to be because of how you guys are treating these athletes right now. I'm telling you, for every action, there's a reaction. For every entity, there is an opposite entity coming. And that is what I know. So y'all keep on playing. Media, he's probably going to attack y'all through the courts or something. I'm telling you, it's not going to be nothing conventional. It's going to be one of the situations where y'all going to choose the wrong athlete. And it's going to be some unprecedented stuff happening toward y'all because of all of this stuff that y'all got going on. So that's what I got to say about that. That's where Kyrie's tweets took me. I agree with his words. I see it that way. I try not to do that myself. You know what I mean? In terms of being someone that only talks and lends itself to opinions and that's it. That is not a life. I think if your opinions isn't leading to helping others or building some type of structure within the things that you're passionate about, speaking it about, you're not doing nothing. As you guys can see, I don't care nothing about numbers. You know that. The only thing I really care about is getting better. Because I don't care about people seeing my stuff today. I care about them seeing this stuff 100 years from now when they look back and find whatever. I want them to see the best version of myself. That's what motivates me. The art of what it is that I'm doing. Self-motivated. That's it. But for those who are chasing numbers, saturated stuff that may not necessarily be about substance, they're going to attach themselves to whatever hot name or whatever hot topic, and they're going to give you fluff, and it'll be whatever they choose it to be. But for myself, no, I'm inspired to help the NBA with my voice, because that's something that brought me close to my mother, who's no longer with me, and that's my thing. So as I go about it, I use my voice, and this is what you're listening to. So that's my thing. If that ain't satisfactory, good. I don't care. That's how I get out. But nevertheless, I hope to help, and I think that if people give some consideration to some of the stuff I got to say, they might find something in them. So that's what I do. But all in all, I agree with Kyrie. I think there are a lot of entities out there doing that. I think they ain't no good. They need to be called out. And if I happen to fall in place with that, I'll take that sacrifice too, because they need to be called out straight up. So that's it. Is what it is, man. I'm rolling with Ree on this one. I do think there's a separate conversation to be had about his responsibilities. Maybe some of those things was prompt him to speak at this time. Maybe not. But one thing I know about Kyrie is he's mindful to make sure that he lets you know that what he's doing is not from a selfish place. And the first thing he said was, they talking about my brothers. And I'm assuming that's KD and Ben Simmons. So, take that for what it's worth. That's just how I'm seeing it. At the end of the day, I'm waiting on this. And if y'all want to have another conversation about the stuff that I can't follow him with, that'll be a conversation for another day. So, that is what it is. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.